Open your book to page 340. Today's lesson is learn how to divide a polynomial by another polynomial of a lower or equal degree. Okay? So this one requires a long division, okay, because you're going to have polynomial. So let's go to example. Let's just go review quickly a little bit on how to divide. So let's say if you have like 925 and you divide by 17. So what you do is you look at the one digit. Okay, so 9 divided by 17 is 9 enough, right? So you go over one more digit. So 92 divided by 17. So you have to think about, okay, 17 times what will give you closest without going over the 92. Okay, and so you need to do the 5. So 5 times 17 will give you 85. Draw the line, then you subtract, and then drop down, so you get 75. Right? After you subtract, you get 7. You drop the next digit and you multiply. So you need to get 4 this time. Right? 17 times 4 will give you 68. And then you subtract, and so you get 7. And therefore, so that's how you divide the long division. Okay? So you're going to use the same technique when you're doing the polynomial. So let's go over the example. Let's go to example on page 341. Okay, so when you divide, you need to put this in order, right? So when you have a missing term, you need to put a 0 or leave it blank. So you got 2x to the 4 minus ax to the 3. Okay, plus notice there's a missing term for x squared, so you put 0 x squared minus 7a to the 3x minus 2a to the 4. So basically you have the x to the 4, x to the 3, x to the 2, x to the 1, and x to the 0. That's why you don't see the x, right? And when you divide, you're going to get 2x squared minus 3ax minus a squared. So again, you got x to the square, x to the 1, x to the 0, right? Now, polynomial actually is easier to divide because over here, because when you divide by numbers, usually it doesn't, the first digit, a lot of times they don't equal, right? They don't cancel out. But when you're doing a polynomial, you always want to cancel out your first term. So all you have to do is just look at the first term. Don't worry about the other term. So you got 2x squared, and you need to get to 2x to the 4. So you need to get x squared, right? Okay. And then after you just multiply everything out, okay? And you want to line up everything. So use your fingers. It help you to, keep track. So multiply, you get 2x to the 4. Multiply this, you get minus 3ax to the 3. And over here you get minus a squared x squared, right? And then you draw the line, and then you subtract. Now, I think it's less likely to make a mistake if you put parentheses around that and put a minus. Okay? So that way you can subtract every column. And notice the first column should always the same, so it will always cancel out. Right? And so 2x4 minus 2x to the 4, it always cancel out. Right? Now over here, you have negative a minus negative 3a, so it gives you positive 2a. And the variable would just drop straight down. Okay? So you get negative a minus negative 3a, so 1a minus negative 3a become positive 2a. So after you subtract, you drop the next term. So 0 minus negative a squared will give you plus a squared x squared. Okay? And then you want to drop the next term. Okay? So after you subtract, you drop the next term. Okay, so you can only look at the first one. So you got 2. So next one you need to do the plus ax. Now notice over here your quotient, the exponent always in the decreasing order. So if you have x squared, the next one will always x. It will always in order and always going down, always, no exception. Okay? So if it's not, that means you're doing something wrong. Okay? It will always go down in order, always, no exception. Okay? So notice you got x squared, so next one it will always be x. Okay? Now, sometimes there will be a missing term. Then if everything get all like cancel out, then you may have like a blank. You have a 0x and you have a number. Okay, but it will always go down in order. It will never go up. Okay, or never stay the same. Okay, so over here now let's go and multiply. So when you multiply, you're going to get 2a x to the 3. Over here you're going to get minus 3a squared x squared. Over here you're going to get minus a to the 3x. Okay, so you can go through each term. Okay, draw the line, put parentheses around that, put a minus over here to remind you that every column you have to subtract. Okay, so 2a minus 2a cancel out. Now you got 1a squared minus negative 3a squared. It becomes 4a squared x squared, right? And this one, negative 7a cubed minus negative a cubed becomes negative 6a cubed. So you have to know how to subtract, right? Using Algebra 1. Okay, so after you're done subtracting, you drop the next term down, minus 2a to the 4. Okay, again, you look at the first term, so you need to get plus 2, right? 2 times 2 will give you 4, and you need to get a squared. Okay, and that's it. And again, notice when you have two variables, right? Your primary variable would be the x. It will always go down in order. Your a would be your secondary variable, or sometimes it's a constant. It will always go up. Notice you got a to the 0, a to the 1, a to the 2, right? Just like when we did the binomial expansion, right? One will always go down and one will go up, right? And again, so that way you can keep track. So if you did something wrong, you can notice right away. Okay? Okay, so multiply. Okay, next one, minus 6a to the 3x. Next one would be minus 2a to the 4. Okay, and this one, it come out really nice, so it'd be 0. Okay, and so your answer would be just your quotient up here. So it'd be x squared plus ax plus 2a squared. That would be your answer. Okay. Okay, now let's go and do one more example. Okay, in case if there is a if there's a remainder, so what to do with a remainder. Okay. So let's go and do let's go and do number 4. Okay, so on page 342, number 4. Okay, so you got 4t minus t squared over t minus 2, right? So when you're doing the division, you don't have to copy the problem, okay? So I just copy it down so you can have comparison, so you can have some kind of reference. So first thing you want to do is you have to put this in order, right? So it'd be negative t squared, right? Negative go with a t squared, right? Plus 4t, and then you divide by t minus 2. Okay. Okay. So again, you only look at the first term, so you need to have a negative t. Okay. So you need to get negative t. So when you multiply, you get negative t squared. Again, first term will always match. Always the first one will always cancel out. So this would be plus 2t. So draw the line, put parentheses, subtract. The reason you put parentheses and put a subtraction is to remind you have to subtract every single column. Because if you don't do that, people have a tendency of forgetting and then they end up making careless mistakes. Okay? So 4 minus 2 will give you 2. Okay? And you drop down, you can write down plus 0 if you want to. Okay? Or you can leave it blank. Okay, so next one, it would be plus 2. Okay, so when you multiply, you get 2t minus 4. Draw the line, put parentheses around it, subtract, so it becomes 4. So this is how you should write your answer. So get used to writing it this way. So you're going to get negative t plus 2. The remainder would be, your numerators would be plus 4 over t minus 2. Okay, so you want to write your answer this way. Okay. So your remainder would be over the denominator. So just put it this way, and then that's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some practice.